Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and on today's episode of The Hypnotist, I'm joined by a guest hypnotist. So it's not going to be me doing any hypnotherapy today. I'm joined by Rob de Groof, who is the owner of the European Hypnosis Academy. Rob, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Great to have you here. I'm always fascinated as to how people get into the world of hypnosis, because sometimes it's like struggling with an issue, finding hypnosis help for them. Sometimes it's being inspired by someone. How was it for you? How did you get into this wonderful world we call hypnosis?
It was a bit a different path. I see that a lot. The path of I had an issue that I went to a therapist and then I start getting interested myself. That's a lot of my students in Belgium are following that path. For me, it was actually totally different. I had no intention to become a hypnotherapist. I was in entertainment for many years, and I was not getting tired of being an entertainer, but I was getting tired of performing mainly for children. So 80% of the time, my audience were children or a combination of children and adults. And I was, because we did that, I had my own clown show, I had a magic show, I did stilt walking, fire spitting, all these things. I had a quite big company in entertainment, so I had freelance artists working for me. And I wanted to add something to my repertoire more for adults. But I can't sing, so I am a bit limited in the things that I can do, or I create a full show. Then you need an extra musician or something. I can play a bit of guitar, but that's not enough to do a professional show. So I was looking for something, a skill that I could add to my. I was already doing some mentalism, but I wanted to add something. And I had this little seed that was planted in my brain already from a demonstration that I saw when I was like 15, 16 years old with a girl. It was actually a guy explaining hypnosis and then doing a demonstration with somebody. And that was a bit stuck in my mind. And I was like, maybe I can do something like that. And then I started looking around for trainings in Belgium, couldn't find anything that appealed to me. It was all or more therapy based, of course. Then I started wandering a bit online and things like that, and I couldn't find anything at that time. I'm talking about 15 years ago now. And then as it was meant to be, I got an email from a magic shop in the Netherlands where I was a client about a lecture on a Tuesday evening, midweek thing, about hypnosis, about entertainment hypnosis. I said, okay, let's drive there. I took like 4 or 5 of my freelance artists with me, and we drove to the Netherlands to attend that lecture. And at that lecture, it was actually a Mexican guy who lived in the Netherlands and had done some things on the television, on the Dutch television, and so he gave an explanation about hypnosis. And I also met a few other people who were also Belgian guys who were already involved in hypnosis and hypnotherapy in Belgium and the Netherlands. And they explained, oh, we have this meetup. It was before all these online things and chat groups. We have this meetup group. And every once in a while, at least once a month, we meet somewhere in the Netherlands or in Belgium to just talk about hypnosis. I will invite you. I said, okay. And I started going to those things as well. And then I found some DVDs and some books. So I started reading and watching some DVDs about entertainment hypnosis. I had a chat with a Mexican guy, and he said, I can be your mentor and guide you until you have a good hypnosis show. So and then after a few weeks, one of those guys from the meetup group, he called me and he said, "Hey Rob, I found these DVDs from an American hypnotist called Jeffrey Stevens, and that's something for you." I said, "Is it street or stage hypnosis?" He said, "No, it's change work, it's therapy." I said, "Eric, I don't want to do therapy. I'm not a therapist." Because in my mind, therapy was like people are coming into your office, they tell their entire life story, all the troubles and all the stories that you don't want to hear. And then you will do a long session with them and they have to come back and then again and again. So I was like, no, that's not for me. I'm an entertainer. Let me entertain people. And he said, "Yeah, but I really want you to have a look at it because this is no nonsense hypnosis. It's short, it's powerful. This is made for you." I said, "Okay, let's have a look." So I started watching the training, and after like 1 hour and a half, I was already like, maybe this is something for me. And I went to my staff, my admin staff and my technical guy at the time. I said, "Hey guys, I'm just going to keep on watching these DVDs. I'm not free for today. Hold every phone call, write down all the questions. I want to keep watching this training." So I watched the entire training, and then I actually learned that you can do change work with a very short, powerful session without having all the history of the people. Just what do you want and what do you want instead, and do your thing. And I started thinking, maybe I can do like a few clients a week and keep busy with hypnosis. Because one of the things, and I tell it to my students all the time, sometimes every single day, especially with the ones who do the 7-day training, to become a hypnotherapist, I always tell them, hypnosis, you can do as many trainings as you want, you can read as many books as you want, listen to podcasts as much as you want, whatever. But if you don't hypnotize people, you will never become a good hypnotist. And that's the only way that you can become a good hypnotist, become a confident hypnotist or hypnotherapist, by hypnotizing people. So at that time, I was going out to pubs. So one of the things that we did we worked especially in the weekends and like Sunday evening when we returned from different places where I had my artists located, and a lot of them were from this area, from the same city here. So in the evening we joined in a bar, and then we had a few beers to finish the weekend. And then the trick that we already had was, because most of my artists were a lot younger than me, and we go to this bars where you have a lot of young people, and then they start walking around and say, "Hey, Rob is here, he's a hypnotist, he can hypnotize you." So I was actually exercising every Saturday or Sunday evening, and then videos start going around from me hypnotizing people. So the moment I enter a bar, I was able to practice hypnosis, to exercise. But I was like, okay, I can't keep doing this all the time, and because after a while in your small city, everybody knows you already, and they're like, "Oh, is there again a hypnosis show in the bar? Maybe not a good idea." So I was like, if I make a little website, just like Hypnotherapy Aarschot was it at that time, that's the name of the city that I lived in, and maybe I can see 2 or 3 clients a week, and then I keep hypnotizing people. Because in Belgium, there are a few things that make it difficult to do entertainment hypnosis on a regular basis. So first of all, we have the law. It's actually illegal in Belgium. You can't do stage hypnosis in Belgium. Nobody acts on the law, but it's still there. So I was hired by city governments to do street hypnosis on their annual fairs and things like that. Nobody cared, but it's actually there in the law that we can't do it. But that's not the biggest issue. Belgium, we only have 11 million people, and we have 3 languages. So we have Dutch, the language that I speak, we have French, and we have a little bit of German. But so the companies, most of the companies, they will have French speakers, they will have Dutch speakers, most of them will also have English speakers. So where is the money for entertainment? It's in corporate. But corporate in Belgium, the chance that they will hire a stage hypnotist is much lower than let's say in the United States. But then if they hire you and they are more like a national company, not a local one, but more national company or a bigger company, they will tell you, okay, we have French speakers in the room, we have English speakers, so can you do your show in 3 languages? No, I can't. I did it for children entertainment, but it's for hypnosis, it's impossible. You can't say everything twice because there's no, you will lose all rhythm in your show, you will lose the pace. And again, I can speak some French. I can do a conversation in French, but I can't entertain in French. I can't hypnotize in French. I can hypnotize in English, but not in French. And I once tried it with walking mentalism, and I did this. It was just hopping from table to table, and they said, okay, we have French speakers, we have even German speakers, we have a mix. I said, okay, guys, I can't do it in French. I can have a conversation in French, but I can't entertain in French. And they said, okay, let's find a good way. We will. So you can do it in Dutch when they're all people sitting at the table are Dutch speakers. You can do it in English when it's a mixed table. So okay, let's do that. So I did a few tables, one in Dutch, one in English, and so on. And then I came to another table. I say, okay, guys, what do you speak? Yeah, Dutch or we're all French speakers. Full table of French speakers, and our English is not really good. Do it in French. I was like, okay. So I start doing something in French, but it's not so. Yeah. When you don't have the words in your mind, then it's not so easy. But okay, I managed to do that. But saying that, I immediately had the feeling that if I'm going to focus myself only on entertainment hypnosis, I will maybe hypnotize people every 3 months or something, because that's probably the especially in the beginning, because and Belgium, like I said, Belgium is not so open to these things. We even doing table hopping magic is difficult in Belgium. People are like, okay, not interested. So, and again, I at that time I already understand that you have to keep busy with hypnosis to get good at it. So I created this little website, and I started using Google AdWords like I was using for my entertainment business. And most of the time I advertise like, okay, it's a 1 session thing. I have different opinions on that now, but at that time it was just 1 session for everything. But I didn't know that there was no other hypnotherapist in Belgium using marketing. At that time, there was nobody doing a 1 session approach. Even for stop smoking, it was like 5 sessions, but most of them were like psychologists doing a bit of hypnotherapy on the side or added in their toolbox. So after like 3 months, I had a full-time hypnotherapy business. It was here at my home. It was totally unprofessional. My artists were bringing back their material for their shows, juggling clubs, big shoes for the clown acts, and people were arriving for stop smoking. So it was because it boomed immediately. So and then I started moving to a bigger place where we had an actual therapy room and also a training room. Because at that time I was already in touch with Jeffrey Stevens, and I invited him for the first time in Belgium. I also met a guy from the Netherlands. Then we started working together. So that's where we changed the name to Hypnosis Center Belgium. And then 1 or 2 years later, Jeffrey came for a second time to Belgium to do his training again, and also to do his advanced training. And then he talked with me and Ruud from the Netherlands. He said, yeah, guys, I can't keep coming to Belgium all the time, because he at that time he already had issues with his health. And I think it's a better idea that I train you both to become trainer in Belgium and in the Netherlands. I said, oh, okay, why not? I said, yeah, I know you use it on a daily basis. You did my 2 trainings already. I did it once online. I did the 2 lives. The second one I assisted. So he said, yeah, you guys, I will train you to become trainers in this protocol. So that's how I start training people. And then a few months after we were trained as to become trainers for Jeffrey Stevens, he suddenly died. He was diagnosed with liver cancer, and 2 weeks later he was dead. So his son even didn't. He already. I know. I think he was diagnosed a bit longer, but he only informed us like 2 weeks before he died. So I can still remember it was I think the 26th of December, and I know he was sick, and I got a phone call. I was just returning home from having dinner with my parents, and I was sitting downstairs, and I got a phone call, and I saw Jeffrey Stevens, and I just picked up, and then I heard Jeremy's voice, his son, and yeah, of course I knew what was happening, and so he said, yeah, Rob, I just want to inform you, my father died like 20 minutes ago. And one thing in that first phone call already, the family asked me, I said, there are only 3 trainers in the world. It's one guy here in the United States who's not going to travel. There's the one in the Netherlands who's not going to travel. Please keep his work alive. And because Jeremy, his son, was 24 at the time, or 25, but for him it was, he should be able to do that as well. But because he attended every training, he assisted every training, he is a very good hypnotist as well. But at that time he said, this is too emotional for me, I'm not going to do that. It's also not my goal in life. He's in military now. So he asked me, the family asked me to keep his Jeffrey's work alive. So I start traveling more, going to conventions like Hypnotalks and all around the world, a lot in the US, of course. Nowadays also a lot in Europe, because they're coming I go to Denmark in a few weeks, and then I go back to Dublin again. Then UK Hypnosis Convention, there's one in Belgium as well. So I'm traveling a lot. I don't see clients on a daily basis anymore. I still see clients because I don't want to be the trainer that doesn't have a client for 10 years anymore, because there are a lot out there. They talk about hypnotherapy, but they don't see clients. So I don't want to see clients on a daily basis anymore, that I like I used to do. So I run the hypnosis center in Belgium. I have a team of 5 hypnotherapists in 4 different cities. We're going to expand to some other cities in a few months. Before COVID, it was 8 hypnotherapists. So we had our schedule was full 3 weeks up front. So it was really busy. Nowadays, it's totally different. So we have these 5 hypnotherapists, smaller team. And we have less clients than before COVID. World changed a bit. Belgium is still not really so into online sessions. It's not like the rest of the world. When COVID happened, after 2 weeks in the lockdown, there was no headphone to find anymore, no webcam to find anymore, because people still had to buy it, because the country is so small. You can drive the entire country. And when I'm here, and I'm quite in the middle of Belgium, when I drive 1 hour in that direction, I will be in Germany after an hour. So it's people are not used to do this. We're not used to do all these online things. So yeah, that's what I'm doing now. So I'm managing the business. I still see clients, but like 3-4 a week. Sometimes a longer period, I don't see any clients because I'm traveling. I do online sessions, but most of the time I'm managing the business. I'm teaching in Belgium and all around the world, and of course creating new things, like new projects. That's what I do most of the time.
Yeah, it's I like running into people that have come from an entertainment background, because there's a level of confidence that comes when you start from the entertainment world. So my belief is that stage hypnotists, street hypnotists often make excellent therapists, but not every therapist could make a great entertainer or street or stage. There is that level of confidence. I also, there's a belief that I have, which you really echoed there, and that is that you can't learn to swim by reading a book. You've got to jump in the water. And hypnosis is like that, And I think when I started 10 years ago, I was an enthusiastic hypnotist. I don't think I was a very good hypnotist. But when you see so many clients, you get good because you're learning constantly in terms of doing things. And I think, it's great that even though you're a very highly regarded trainer now, you're still keeping, in contact with like regular clients. I think that's so important, just to kind of calibrate and test out new different approaches. You kind of need to do that. One of the reasons we've got you on the show today is that we're both speaking at the Irish Hypnotherapy Conference, and I think that's just in a few weeks now. I've seen you do demonstrations and things. What are you going to be talking about at the Irish Hypnotherapy Conference? What's the topic there?
Something totally off topic for me. It's even my team members were a bit surprised that I was working on a project like this, because I'm quite down to earth, and they saw it like a bit of mystical, but it's not. It's totally not. So I'm talking about Qigong. It's actually so I don't know if you're familiar with Qigong. It's like Tai Chi, but then so you have. Let me first explain what Qigong is for the listeners, because I'm a bit curious about that. That whenever you start talking about Qigong, most of the people don't know what it is, and then when you mention Tai Chi, everybody knows what or have a notion of what Tai Chi is. So, but actually, Tai Chi is a form of Qigong. Qigong is actually more the base. It's a Chinese art of movement. And actually the Tai Chi is more like the martial art form of Qigong. So what's the big difference, to explain it quite simple, is when you see somebody exercising Tai Chi, they will do a movement and they go immediately to another movement. So it's for most people, and a lot of people that I talked with who once did Tai Chi, they stopped with it because it's too complicated. After like 6 months in going to workshops, they still only are doing one particular sequence of movement because it's very hard to memorize and to keep that flow going. What's the difference with Qigong is in Qigong you do a movement and you will repeat it for 15 times, 20 times, and then you go to another one. So it's much easier. And you will also, when you do a full Qigong session, you will train every single aspect in your body and your mind, what you want with Tai Chi, because you're so you have to invest so much time in learning these forms. You will spend 6 months learning a form that's maybe only working on your shoulders and your arms, or so Qigong is actually the more easier form from Tai Chi, if you want to say it like that. I started doing Qigong because I have back issues. I have a protégé in my back and I need to do something. I'm sitting a lot also, and for my neck, and so it was actually my mother who introduced me to Qigong, and I start doing it. I did some yoga before, but I couldn't get myself to do it on a daily basis because it's too much on the ground. And when you have back problems and you have to lie on the ground, and it's most of the time it was a struggle to get up, and so I didn't like it. So then I started doing this Qigong, which is 90% of the time standing. It's 99% of the time standing. There are some forms that you can do it seated, but I always do it standing. And that immediately appealed to me, and I started doing it on a regular basis. So I do it sometimes in the morning, in the evening, and sometimes twice a day. I do it before I start playing a round of golf. I do it a lot, even sometimes in between, like 2 weeks, no, 2 days ago, I had to do some in-person sessions in one of our therapy rooms here. And because my sessions are so short, I have time in between clients. I just start doing some Qigong just because I like to do it, and it's good. I feel the difference in my body. I feel the difference in my mind. So, but one of the issues that I have is whenever I'm doing something, that's one of the reasons I started playing golf, because I like to go out for a walk. But when you're walking, you're just walking. You have a lot of time to think, and you have a lot of time to get new ideas, and then you come home and you start working. And so on my free days, I went out for a walk and I came back with 100 ideas and I started working on my laptop. So that was not, so that's why I took up golf, because then, yeah, you have to walk, but you have to do something. So you can't think about your business all the time and get new ideas. But even when I'm doing Qigong, it's like moving meditation. But the moment I was doing it, I was like, but actually what I'm doing here, this is flows, this because I use active alert hypnosis also, especially for my recordings. I was like, this is something I can combine with hypnosis. This is great. This is because I experienced for myself that when I have to listen to a recording, or when I want, because I'm my own therapist, if I want to change something on myself, I don't trust hypnotherapists, crazy people. So I want to do it myself. No. So most of the time I just make a recording, but then yeah, because you're working the entire day and then you have to sit down, listen to the recording. And I was like, okay, no, let's make a walking recording, because I knew that was possible. So I started testing that on myself. And now for my audio hypnosis website, everybody will, when they get a recording at my web shop, and the international one or the Belgian one or whatever, they will always get two options. They will get the recording just to listen, like the classical one, lie down and listen to the recording, like we all know. But they always get the version for walking as well. So they can go out, eyes open, of course, they can walk, they will get in an active alert state of hypnosis. And for me, it works even better, because I can combine it with after work, having a good walk, listening to my hypnosis recording, and it works. And it's better for me than just laying down again after sitting the entire day. So I was like, okay, but if we can do it with a walk, then let's make it more interesting by doing it with these Qigong movements. And so that's what I started playing around with. I did live sessions, I did some group things, and now what I'm actually it's in a tryout group now. People can sign up for it. It's flowingchangework.com. When you go there, flowingchangework.com, you can sign up for the tryout group. You will get 3 sessions with videos and everything. The only thing that I expect is feedback, because that's what it's there for. Because I'm figuring out how I can make it like an audio hypnosis recording, but with the movements. So you will listen to the recording and do the movements. So the way that I set it up now is people will first watch me explaining a Qigong movement. Of course, I keep it. The goal is that everybody can use it, not only Qigong experts, of course, it's for everybody. So I will give them a few movements, very simple movements. Then they can hit play, listen to the recording, and then they know what movements to do. And one of the things that's really important, especially with this, the movement doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't matter. It just the flow should be there. And the feedback is great. I'm starting to get feedback forms in, and everybody loves it. And they feel that they are going into a trance. They feel that they go somewhere. They do the movements, but they still listen to a hypnosis recording. The 3 recordings the 3 sessions that are on the tryout group now are just general things like confidence and self boost that everybody can use. So that's what I'm going to talk about in Dublin. And the goal is actually that I'm going to explain how I see the Qigong. I will demonstrate a bit of Qigong, of course. I will talk about the entire project, but we will end with a group session. So we will do a Qigong, a hypno Qigong session with everybody who's in the room. I think it's the very first presentation of the convention, 9 o'clock in the morning. So everybody will still have the energy. So that's the plan actually. And in the future, what I want to do it's create like a membership website where we will all have all these different Qigong, hypno Qigong sessions. The only thing that that's why I need the feedback group, of course. At the moment, it's just audio recording. So the setup is they watch the videos before, so they get familiar with the movements, and then they listen to the recording. Because in my mind, I think it's best that they close their eyes, but it's no need. You can open your eyes. It's active alert hypnosis. The eyes can be open, but since you're standing on one position, you can also close your eyes. Some people gave me the feedback that it might be better that they also have the video, that they see me do the entire movement. That's something that I'm going to play around with to see what is best for people. Most of the people close their eyes, so they don't need the actual video. They only need the preparation video. And the goal is actually that we will have like these different types of sessions, like beginners, where for people who are not experienced with with Qigong, it's something totally new for them. So it will be with only like 2 or 3 different movements in the entire session. And it will lead to the expert level, where people who are very good at Qigong, they just can use their own movements. I will only guide them through the flow and to the change work, of course. So, and then they can use their own movement. So that's actually what we're working on. And actually Dublin is the very first conference that I'm going to talk about it. So yeah,
I'm excited to see that. Yeah, it's I'll be there. I'll be there doing the Qigong moves and the hypnosis. And I do think what I like is that in a lot of areas of hypnotherapy, it doesn't seem to innovate like other kind of areas of kind of, let's say, change or kind of work. And whenever I see people in the world of hypnotherapy doing something new, and that might be with sounds, with movements, with, all different things, I think that's great, because now we're kind of expanding kind of what it is. And just as you were describing the Qigong and the movements, I was getting flashbacks of, I spent a lot of time in my 20s learning a Brazilian martial art called capoeira.
Yeah.
And the rhythm of that, my eyes were wide open, but it felt, that Venn diagram of a trance state feels very much like a lot of the hypnosis that I experience, even though there's a lot of movement and flow and that kind of stuff. So my gut tells me it's going to be, an amazing thing.
I think the way that I do it with the Qigong, you can do it with older movements that I like capoeira, because you also get in those flows and those flows will create a trance state in your mind. And then when you combine it with the right suggestions to get them in a more active alert hypnosis states, that they are open for change. Like I said, I want to try these things on, because most of the things that I created are a lot of the time that I want something else for myself. Like my hypno fasting protocol, I created because I wanted to lose weight myself, and I'm a virtual gastric band trainer. We use it a lot in the therapy room, but for me it didn't sound like the right approach, because I don't want to eat less. When I eat, I want to eat whatever I want to eat. So I was more, and then one of my therapists came with explaining that he was doing intermittent fasting, and I was like, oh, maybe that's something for me. But yeah, me not having breakfast, that might be a struggle, or maybe I can do some hypnosis to overcome that struggle. And that's why I start creating the hypno fasting protocol, combining hypnosis and intermittent fasting. And yeah, I started testing it on myself. It worked. I lost 10 kilograms. I still do intermittent fasting, and I'm happy with it. And that's how you sometimes get to these new approaches. Because you want something else for yourself.
You test it and you see what works, and I think that's what I think appeals to a lot of people about hypnotherapy and the rapid change work like NLP, is that you get to test the kind of the change pretty quickly. It's not like 2 years of counseling where you're kind of hoping that a change will take place. You get to evaluate change very quickly. And when you were saying about the versions with the eyes closed and then mirroring you, I just had a feeling that a lot of people, when they go to like an aerobics class, they have that person in front of them, and that triggers the mirror neurons, and they kind of know what to do, and they've got that reference point. So it's great that you're testing it. I have a feeling that maybe observing you in real time or a video version may be more effective than the eyes closed. But this is the great thing with hypnosis. You get to test it and see what works, and whatever works the best, then double down on that. So for those people interested in seeing this Qigong hypnosis, you're going to be at the Irish Hypnotherapy Conference. That's in early April in Dublin. There are tickets available. So if you go to irishhypnotherapyconference.ie, you can check out Rob. Rob's going to be there. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be talking about something very different. I'm going to be talking about the fourth dimension. There's going to be loads of other speakers there as well, talking about stuff. So check that out if you're interested. But Rob, if people are curious about, let's say, some of the training that you offer or some of the other things that you do, give us a couple of other websites before you share a demo with us.
Yeah. So when you go to European Hypnosis Academy.com, there you can find everything about the trainings and also upcoming events where I will be present. I actually, for the ones going to Dublin, I also do a training there on Monday. I do a workshop on instant inductions. So I will teach 22 different very fast inductions. I only use instant inductions. That's, of course, a bit of my entertainment background. I'm used to hypnotize people very quickly, so I don't see why I would use something longer in a therapy room. So that's what I'm doing in Dublin as well. But you also have this, just my name, robthegroof.com. There you can find also a lot of links to all different interviews and podcasts that I did, videos during all these years, and some more information. Also links to all my different social media channels. So that's the easiest way to go, actually. Just myname.com, robthegroof.com. Also on that website is also the possibility to book in a video call with me. So if there are people out there who are interested in mentoring or having a training with me, or invite me for a training in their country, I'm always looking for new countries to visit, for new hosts in countries that I might not have been yet. So yeah, that's the best way to go there.
Perfect. And I've seen a couple of your demonstrations. You work fast, and I like that. That's what appealed to me about hypnosis and NLP. Seeing the early Richard Bandler stuff, it's like changes like very, very quick, and that really kind of resonates with me. So you've got some hypnosis or a demonstration to share with us?
Yeah. So like you already said, my sessions are short. That's something that I'm known for. It's even so, if you see the difference, I use 80% of the time, I use the Jeffrey Stevens protocol or a combination with the protocol. But most of the time I use the protocol as my blueprint. I might add some extra techniques, but I think it's really important that as a hypnotherapist or as a hypnotist, whether you do a demonstration or entertainment on a stage or sitting in a therapy room with a client, you need a blueprint in your mind. And I think that's really really important, because if you start the sessions with still what am I going to do, or what approach am I going to use, or what am I going to do next, you don't have the possibility to be focused on your client and watch all these different feedback so I really like to have a blueprint in my mind, and most of the time I use the same blueprint. And it's short. It's short. I do it shorter than Jeffrey did it. With Jeffrey, it was a session from induction to exduction was about 15 minutes. Most of the time with me, it's a bit shorter. In English, it might be around 10, 12 minutes, depending on what the issue is. And when I do it in my own language, in Dutch, it's even shorter, because I put a lot of energy in my sessions, and I don't speak with a hypnotic voice or something like that. It's just energy. It's a little entertainment, actually. So by putting that energy, I speak rather fast in especially in Dutch language, one of the first questions I always get from my students, but because I demonstrate a lot in my trainings, of course, do we have to speak as fast as you? I say, no. One of the key takeaways of this training is, don't be a copy of me. Don't be a copy of Jeffrey Stevens. Just learn the blueprint, make it your own. Do it in your own style. I had, during these years, I had maybe like 10, 12 different therapists working for me. They all were using the same approaches. They all were using the same techniques, the same protocols, but in their own manner, in their own style, with their own way of hypnotizing. One of the things that I show in my when I do virtual gastric band training for Sheila Granger in Belgium and the Netherlands, and when I do a virtual gastric band session, I do it in the same way that I do my direct change work. So also for the ones who know the virtual gastric band, when you do the first session and the entire walk through to the hospital, I do it with a lot of movement with my arms and a lot of emotion in my voice. And then you have Sheila doing it in her style. It's totally different. But I have good results and she has very good results. But because she is doing it in her own way and I'm doing it in her own way. Don't ask me to do it her way, because that would not resonate with me and I would not have the results. Don't ask her to do it in my way, because that would probably not resonate with her. And that's what I want my students to know. Just take away, and that's for every single training out there in the world, take away what you can use and use it in your own way. Don't try to be a copy of the trainer. One of the things that I experienced a lot in my school in Belgium, before COVID, I was inviting like 6 international trainers a year. And then my students came in, and then one of the trainers that came a lot to our school was Shawn Michael Andrews, because he used to live in Heidelberg, Germany. It's only 3 hours and a half drive to my school in Belgium. So he came every year for a 4-day training. And then, of course, Shawn's approach is totally different than mine. And so my students had me for 7 days and probably a lot of other master classes with me. And then Shawn came with his approach. Or somebody else came, in a Simpson came, people from all around the world came, or Anthony Jackman or Freddie were at my place. But then a lot of students, they were like, okay, now this trainer says this. Oh, now we're going to follow his approach. And then 2 months later, another trainer came. Oh, he says we have to do it. No, he don't say that you have to do it this way. You have to get the information and create with everything in your toolbox your own way and be your own person in the therapy room, because that's the only way that you can be confident, that you can be congruent. And that's something that I think a lot of people forget. For me, so yeah, let's do a demonstration with I will just do the basic Jeffrey Stevens protocol, like I teach it to my students. When I teach it internationally, I teach the basic Jeffrey Stevens protocol, and in my therapy room I combine it with the Swan, I combine it with other approaches, but let's just demonstrate the basic Jeffrey Stevens protocol.
Perfect, let's do that. I'm going to put myself on mute, and it's all over to you.
Okay, but I need you as a client. So
okay, so I won't be on mute then.
It doesn't need to be. It can be anything. So just Perfect. Give me something. It can be just installing something positive. It doesn't matter. So the little intake talk that we're going to do now, that's as much as I'm doing with my clients. I don't do pre-talks in the therapy room. I send video. That's something that I present a lot of at conventions. I think you can find it on YouTube, where I talk about it's also in my book, where I talk about not doing pre-talks in the therapy room. So I only ask a few questions and then I start doing my session.
Perfect.
So just give me, and actually that's how we ask our clients on the intake form. Give me in 2 words what you want to get rid of.
So As you know, I went on.
It's more than 2 words.
So I've recorded a lot of video content for my YouTube channel, but I haven't done the editing and the actual kind of production. So to get rid of, it would be the hesitation, and to have more of, let's just call it, focus, concentration, because I've done the fun bit, the recording. Now it's the editing bit, which isn't so fun. So I want to feel inspired, excited to actually do that bit.
So it's especially the editing that you have.
Yeah, just because it's slightly out of my comfort zone, and I love doing hypnosis. I don't necessarily enjoy editing hypnosis, so there's less kind of passion for that bit.
Yeah. So actually, the goal is to take the next step and get on with all the work that's there, or just be more enthusiastic. Have more enthusiasm to do the next part of the project.
Well, I guess it would be, if I don't do the editing bit, then all this stuff that I've done never has the possibility of impacting people. So it's quite a crucial bit, but it's the bit that I'm kind of, I don't know if it's procrastination or hesitation, but it's something like that.
No. Okay, so the only thing that I need to know is what will be the advantages that you have, or your business have, when you do the work, when you go to the next step and do the editing for all that material. I already wrote down your work will be able to have an impact.
I think it's impact, and part of why I created the podcast is this idea of, if it just changes one person's life, if it helps one person. So the same logic that gets me doing my podcast every day would be the same logic for the YouTube, but it's just a bit more complex when you're dealing with video and audio feeds and those bits. So, but that is still the same essence. It's helping people.
Yeah. Okay. Great. That's all I need. Okay. So of course we are online, so we're just going to do a very simple induction. No push on my hand. Thanks. I'm really looking for that. There will be a time in the future that we can do this instant inductions online, like push on my hand. They will find something for that, I'm quite sure. Like, technology is growing now, they will find something. Mm-hmm. Okay, good. Okay, just take a deep breath and close your eyes while breathing out. That's right. Okay, so Adam, what I want you to do now is just focus on your eyelids and just concentrate on your eyelids, and just imagine that your eyes are glued shut, that you can't open them anymore, that they're so tired, so heavy, so glued shut that you can't open them anymore. And the moment you're 100% convinced that you can't open them anymore, only when you're 100% convinced that you used all your imaginations, I want you to give them a good try. That's right. Okay, stop trying. Sweep. Deeper and deeper, all the way down, deep, deeper. That's right. Because the deeper you go, the better you feel. The better you feel, the deeper you go. All the way down, deep, deeper. That's right. From now on, every sound you hear, every voice you hear, inside or outside, makes it easier and easier to focus only on my voice and follow your instructions. My instructions even better. Starting from now, everything you feel inside or outside makes it easier and easier to focus only on my voice and follow my instructions even better. Nothing I do or say will disturb you in any way whatsoever. If for any reason the connection is lost or you can't hear me, you will open your eyes, you will be back in the room, and you will be able to contact me. Starting from now, everything I say will become your only and total reality. Everything I say, you see. Everything I say, you feel. Everything I say, you can. Everything I say, you hear. Starting from now, every breath you take will take you 10 times deeper into hypnosis. That's right. All the way down, deep, Deeper in a moment, not now, but in a moment. I'm going to count from 1 to 3. On 3, you will open your eyes. You will feel absolutely wonderful. The moment I say sleep, you close your eyes, you go 10 times deeper. Every time I say sleep, you close your eyes, you go 10 times deeper. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Here, sleep. Deeper and deeper. That's right. All the way down. 1, 2, 3. Look here. Sleep. Deeper and deeper. That's right. Okay. While you put your head a bit more straight on your shoulders, you will find your neck relaxing. You will be able to focus even more on my voice. That's right. In a moment, not now, but in a moment, I'm going to count from 5 to 0. I want you to imagine that 0 way out in the distance. Just imagine that 0 way out in the distance. The moment I start counting from 5 to 0, I want you to imagine walking towards that 0. The closer I get to the 0, the closer you get to the 0. When I reach the 0, you reach the 0. And you will just walk through the middle of that 0. And beyond that 0 is this deep hypnotic trance waiting for you. That deep hypnotic experience is waiting for you beyond that 0. Everything beyond that 0 is beyond expectations. So keep on focusing on that 0 way out in the distance. 5, getting closer and closer, closer towards that 0. 4, getting closer and closer towards that 0. Anticipation is building, expectation is building. You really want to go towards that 0. You really want to go there. 3, getting closer and closer, closer and closer and closer. 2, you're almost there. You're almost there. Anticipation keeps building, expectation keeps building. You almost can have the sense of a feeling of what is waiting beyond that 0 for you. 1, you're almost there. You're almost there. You're right in front of it. You're right in front of it. 0, walk through that 0 and let that hypnotic experience, that hypnotic trance wash through your mind and your body like a wave after wave after wave, washing through your mind and your body, wave after wave after wave. That's right. Just let it wash through your mind and your body, and those emotions, those feelings, those whatever is going on beyond that 0 will start growing with every wave after wave, getting more intense, wave after wave. That's right. And from now on, you just can keep enjoying whatever is going on beyond that 0. And also your conscious mind can keep enjoying whatever is going on there. Because from now on, you don't even have to listen to me anymore on a conscious level. Because from now on, I'm talking directly to your subconscious mind. So subconscious mind, I'm talking directly to you now. Subconscious mind, I'm speaking to you now. So subconscious mind, up until now, you created this kind of hesitating with Adam when he needs to start working on the next step with his material that he recorded. So he really enjoys making all these recordings, but there is a kind of hesitation in going to the next step, the editing, the processing of all that material. So subconscious mind, with the information you had your reasons to do that. But you now know that that is no longer what is best for Adam. You know that is not longer what he wants himself. You now know that what is best for Adam is that he will have the same energy, the same enthusiasm to go to the next step of the project, to start using all that material and start editing it, start processing it to some good material that he can put out there, and that again can be used to help people. That again can have an impact on people out there. And that's actually what his goal is, to create that impact, even when it only changed one person. That's why he needs to be able to start doing the next step of the process. So subconscious mind, what I want you to do is make all necessary changes so that it becomes like second nature, that Adam starts taking initiative to start editing that material, to start processing that material to an end product that he can put out there, whether it is a good video that he can post on YouTube or on his socials. Make sure that he has all that initiative to start processing that material, to start editing that material to a very good end product, because you know that what is best for him. You know that it's what is best for him on a personal level, on a conditional level, on an emotional level, on a professional level. You know that it only has advantages for him. You know that he will be able to help more people out there. You know that it will create an impact out there. You know that this is what Adam wants. So subconscious mind, what I want you to do is start making these changes, and make these changes on a healthy way. Make them as fast as possible, but as safe as possible on your own pace. Subconscious mind, start making these changes now. Not your head if you accept and understand. That's right, and go 10 times deeper, all the way down. Adam, the man that you see when you watch in the mirror is a man of word. It's a man full with confidence, full with joy. And you know that's true, because you're the man that you see when you look in the mirror. You're that man full of word, full of confidence, full of joy. So the person you see when you look in the mirror is somebody who's loved and is loving by other people, who's full of energy. It's a great person, a beautiful person on the inside and the outside. And you know that's true, because you're that person of word. You're that person that's loved by others and is loving other people. That's beautiful on the inside and the outside. You're that wonderful person, that person of word that you see when you look in the mirror. Not your head if you accept and understand. That's right. And go 10 times deeper, all the way down. In a moment, not now, but in a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 5. On 5, I want you to open your eyes. You will be back in the room, fully re-energized, feeling absolutely wonderful, knowing that your subconscious mind is on the job, knowing that your subconscious mind will start making all necessary changes to reach your goals. 1, all relaxation is leaving your body. 2, energy is floating inside your body from all different directions, filling your entire body with this amazing energy. 3, take a deep, deep breath. 4, your lungs are clear. Your throat is clear. Your sinuses are clear. Your head is clear. Your mind is clear, sharp. 5, open your eyes, back in the room, feeling absolutely wonderful, feeling great, feeling re-energized. Back in the room, feeling good.
Feeling good. That was a nice experience.
Great, thank you. So yeah, so this was a short version of the Jeffrey Stevens protocol, where I have all these different steps that I go through, and the change work is we don't use any history. We're not going to we just give the subconscious mind the responsibility to make the changes, and of course there's a lot going on and that's what I also explain in my training. And for me it's really important that a hypnotherapist is able to start the session with whatever information he gets, and even if he doesn't know anything about the issue, because every single day I see people posting in all these different hypnosis groups on Facebook. Does anyone has a good script, or does anyone has a good session for this issue? And I'm like, okay, there is no good script, or there's no good session or something. No, there's an approach, but just use the client's information and start working. And that's what I want to give my student. That's one of the reasons that I teach all my new students, the ones who start becoming a hypnotherapist. I teach them this protocol, because now the moment they know this, they are ready to go. They can do. Of course, they can learn other techniques and fill their toolbox and start using them together, but they always have this basic thing that they can go through for every single issue that they have. And then, so yeah, that's.
And I think the nature of hypnotherapists sometimes is that they're trying to learn so many different approaches and protocols and different techniques. And I think there's a Bruce Lee quote that says something like, I don't fear the man that's learned 10,000 kicks. I fear the man that's learned one kick and practiced 10,000 times. And I think there's a lot of power in being very, very good at an approach. And I think sometimes people have this, again, a fallacy that if it's too simple, therefore it's not effective. But actually, most simple things are more effective because it cuts right to the core. And at its core, hypnosis is a catalyst for change. And most people know what they don't want and they know what they do want. So if you can be that catalyst, you help them get there quicker.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I experience when I'm when I have like a 2-month break that I don't have seen a lot of clients. Most of the time I had a few online clients. But when I'm traveling a lot, I'm not scheduling sessions when I'm traveling. I don't like to work in hotel rooms online because there's always something going on with the internet and things. So when I'm traveling, I block my session. I might do a session there somewhere in person, but I'm not doing online stuff. So there sometimes I have this breaks that I don't see an actual client for a month or sometimes a bit longer. What I find is whenever I start again now with seeing clients, a lot of the times I just go back to the basics. I just do the Jeffrey Stevens protocol like I teach it in the training as well. And then after a while, then I start when it's needed. I start getting other things involved. But like last Sunday, there was this guy and he contacted me through WhatsApp and he says, "Yeah, I'm very busy in construction and I really want to stop smoking session with you because my colleague, he came to you 5-6 years ago, and I still remember him starting on the first workday after he become a non-smoker. He had no issues, no cravings. I was still smoking," he says, and he didn't bother him at all. So I want a session with you, but I'm the only day that it's possible for me. It's in a weekend day. So it's okay. Let's do it on Sunday. I don't mind. I work most of the Sundays. So I did a session with him and just very, very short, just stop smoking like the way that I did with you now. Just inform the subconscious mind. He's a non-smoker now, so stop all that nonsense. So, and then a few days later, he sent me a message that's something like, when you translate it, it's like, "You're a rock star." It's just that was a message. And then he replied to me. He said, "Yeah, no issues, no cravings, nothing. All good." And yeah, sometimes you just don't need much. It's when the client is ready for the change and knows what he wants, and then yeah, that's the reason that my training and also the subtitle of my book, it's called The Art of Simple Hypnosis, and it's actually I got it from a golf trainer from the UK, and he has the Art of Simple Golf. And that's a bit the same in golf. You can watch YouTube and you can find 100,000 different approach of hitting a golf ball. And people start watching this, and then trainer A says this, trainer B says something else, and there's another guy who said, "No, this is the best way." And they come on the golf course and they can't play golf anymore because they have all these different things in their mind. And what I found, what I experienced, I did it myself as well, of course. What I experience is you listen to a YouTube video and the guy says you have to place the ball here and here, and then you have to do this. You do it, and the first time it worked great, one time. But the moment you want to repeat it, and especially when you want to repeat it on a golf course, it doesn't work anymore because you just make it overcomplicated. And that guy his thing is, okay, make it as simple as possible. And that's why I got this idea. I said, okay, but that's actually how I see hypnosis and how I try to teach hypnosis to my students, and how I speak at conventions. It's most of the time about keeping it as simple as possible and don't overcomplicate things. And I want it both in the therapy room, but I also want it for the user experience, the client experience. That's why I have that pre-talk video and all these things that to make it the client as easy as or as simple as possible, but also for the therapist. So yeah, that's a bit my goal at the moment to because I did trainings like in the UK where I was teaching the Jeffrey Stevens protocol about five years ago or something, and I was in the business for 10 years then. And most of my students in the room at that time were longer in the business than I was in the business at that time. And a lot of them, they came to me after I did a 2-day Jeffrey Stevens protocol training. They said, where were you 15 years ago? I'm doing these very long sessions with a lot of information, listening to the clients a lot, with long inductions. And this is going to make my life so much simpler. And that's actually what I want to give people. Also, when I teach them the instant inductions, and when I teach them the other techniques, keep it as simple as possible, because one of the videos, I wrote it in my newsletter about doesn't have a session to be 1 hour, because a lot of clients,
it doesn't,
or therapists thinks that it needs to be an hour. But there's no need. People are not paying me for my time. They're paying me for a result.
For the result and the change.
I explain to my students, the moment we will find a way of change work or therapy that I put somebody on a chair and I walk 3 times around the chair and his problem is solved, I don't care if it's only 3 minutes or 1 minute, or there's no scientific research for this. As long as my client's issue is gone or his goal is reached, that's what he's paying me for. Not for the time, not for the research, not for whatever. He wants a result. And if I can get to that result by doing something crazy and just walk around the chair, not going to happen probably, then it's okay for me. Then he has a result, and that's what I want. I want them to give the result.
And I think it's important to focus on the outcome and whatever the process is that gets you there is the right one. And as you were saying that, it kind of reminded me, like when I started, my sessions were 45, 50 minutes long of hypnosis. And these days they're, a long session will be like 25 minutes and most of them are between 15 and 20 minutes. And it's kind of like, in theory, like, because more, they should be longer, but actually they just get more efficient, the more you know. And there is again a fallacy that longer is better, and it's like, I don't think it is, and you don't need long progressive relaxation inductions and those kind of things. So Rob, thanks so much for joining me on the show today. Just give us your website addresses again, just in case people want to learn more about you or perhaps do your training.
Yeah, so we have the European Hypnosis Academy.com. There's also on that website you can also sign up for a newsletter. I'm starting a new because I was not really consistent in my newsletters because that's one of the issues that I have in my business. I have to do everything in 2 languages. So every single content I know your struggle, because for me it's like, okay, and I have to do it in English, I have to do it in Dutch, because I have students a lot of in Belgium, of course, but you can't do everything in English for those students because that's not the right way to approach them. I'm starting a brand new newsletter for the European Hypnosis Academy. It's actually called the Art of Simple Hypnosis newsletter, in which every month I will give them advice on how to keep it simple. There's a question answer, there's a tip or a technique that I share in that newsletter, so they can sign up for that one on EuropeanHypnosisAcademy.com. Also there they will find the trainings, also the online stuff and things like that. And then my name, robthegroof.com. There they can find all my links to my socials if they want to follow me on my socials. Also there is information about where I am in the world to do trainings or presentations or things like that. And for the ones who want to try out the Hypno Qigong, because I'm quite sure in your listeners there will be a lot of people interested in trying this new approach. And you don't have to have any experience with hypnosis, with Qigong. It doesn't matter. It's for everybody. So just go to flowingchangework.com. And there you can sign up for the tryout group. The tryout group will be online for the next couple of weeks, because I want actually as many, because of course a lot of my followers are hypnotherapists, so I want not only hypnotherapists trying it out, I want general public trying it out, people with Qigong experience, but people with no Qigong experience, people with who used to go to a hypnotherapist, or people that it's brand new for. So I want these different feedback coming in. So
amazing. Well, it sounds very exciting. I'm looking forward to seeing it in Dublin very soon. Rob, it's great to have you on the show today.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.